Ever poured your heart and soul into a DIY build only to watch it go completely sideways? Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're jumping into a really fun, deeply relatable explainer on the messy, highly creative reality of building a 10-foot flying saucer from absolute scratch. We're going to follow the brilliant trial and error process of custom maker Ian Roussel. If you've ever started a project with sky-high hopes, only to trip and fall right at the finish line, this is going to resonate so much with you. It's absolutely a masterclass in not just fabricating a physical object, but keeping your sanity and resilience when that object fights back.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You take a step back to admire your hard work, you trip, and bam, you literally crush your own project. And that is exactly how this incredible 10-foot saucer build started out. Ian had this perfectly good satellite dish frame acting as the skeleton for his UFO, and he fell down right on top of it, bending the hoop and squashing his progress. But hey, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Instead of throwing in the towel, he fully embraced the failure.
All right, let's jump straight into phase one, a crash-landed DIY project. We're going to see exactly how Ian recovered from accidentally crushing that delicate frame.
So Ian didn't just try to blindly bend the crushed parts back into shape. He took the opportunity to completely over-engineer the structure. He scavenged ribs from a second satellite dish and crossed them over for internal support. Then he spun a heavy metal round tube ring to brace the center, bolting the whole thing together with carriage bolts for maximum rigidity. What's so inspiring about this is that a literal stumble led to a foundation that was dramatically stronger than his original plan.
Now, all that extra support, it definitely came with a literal cost. The beautifully reinforced flat frame ended up weighing somewhere between 60 to 80 pounds. And sure, while that sounds a bit hefty for a flying saucer, it was a totally acceptable trade-off for its newfound structural integrity. I mean, Ian could now pick the frame right up off the ground without it buckling. Sometimes adding a little weight is exactly what you need to ground your project and give it the backbone it requires.
Moving right along to phase two, the Jiffy popcorn failure. The heavy-duty frame was finally solid, so it's time to skin the UFO. But, as you might guess, the journey was about to take another bumpy detour.
See, Ian wanted a shiny metallic finish, but custom-cut aluminum sheets run over $1,000, so he smartly opted for a $50 roll of aluminum house flashing. However, because his beautifully repaired frame wasn't a geometrically perfect sphere anymore, fastening the rigid aluminum down caused terrible stress. It's this incredibly frustrating mechanical reaction known as oil canning. The metal buckled, wrinkled, and popped out of shape. And the more screws he added to try and force it flat, the worse the stress fractures and wrinkles became.
So instead of a sleek intergalactic spacecraft, the puckered metal was just a massive disappointment. As Ian perfectly put it, it looks like a big pan of Jiffy popcorn or a chrome-plated fried egg. He even joked that it looked like a crash-landed UFO. It was pretty rough. But here is the true beauty of the maker mindset. This failure forced Ian to take a step back, completely halt his current path, and totally rethink his approach to skinning the dome.
And that brings us right to phase three, the stretchy fabric pivot. This is where the magic of creative problem-solving truly shines. Ian found inspiration in two completely unlikely places: a beautifully upholstered, flawless custom trike seat and those massive fabric-covered mutant vehicles built for the extreme conditions of Burning Man. He realized rigid metal was the wrong path entirely. Just think about the difference here. Custom-cut aluminum runs over $1,000 and highlights every single frame flaw. But a simple roll of stretchy shade cloth or lycra, just $45. It's forgiving, it stretches to hide the wrinkles, and it pulls incredibly taut. Making this pivot wasn't just a creative choice, it was an absolute no-brainer economically and structurally.
This brilliantly illustrates the hidden benefits of flexibility. The fabric doesn't just hide the frame's past trauma from being stepped on, it is ultra-lightweight. It stretches perfectly over those uneven, crossed ribs. If a gust of wind tears it, no big deal. It's easily field repairable with some wood strips and an everyday staple gun. It's literally just like basic upholstery. But the absolute coolest part? The fabric is translucent enough that if you put lights underneath, the entire UFO glows eerily from the inside at night. You could absolutely never pull that off with a sheet of aluminum.
Okay, so the UFO is getting its glorious new skin, which leads us to phase four, welding a solid foundation. Because you certainly can't just leave a majestic, glowing 10-foot UFO sitting casually on the garage floor.
Ian set out to build a heavy-duty steel display stand, but he was working with some incredibly thick, dirty oil rig pipe he just happened to have on hand. Now, picture this. He's in an Arizona shop, paddling 100-degree heat and heavy monsoon humidity, and his bandsaw is seriously struggling. The blade actually stopped completely at one point. His lifesaver? Copious amounts of a magic cutting fluid called anchor lube. It kept his struggling saw from giving up entirely, allowing him to finally cut out the massive X-brace base and the heavy vertical post.
Now here is a masterful fabrication trick that Ian shares. When you need to create a notch in a heavy steel tube to slip it over an intersecting base, you don't just blindly hack away with an angle grinder. First, drill a clean hole right at the very end of your planned cut line. Then, cut straight down with a saw directly into that drilled hole. Finally, slip the clean, perfectly terminated notch right over the base. Why drill the hole first? Because it acts as a relief point. It cleanly ends the slot and prevents nasty stress fractures from forming in the joint once the massive weight of the UFO is resting on it. It cuts like butter and yields a mega-strong connection. Next comes the welding. Dialing in his MIG welder, Ian gives us this incredible sensory detail. He notes that if you feel too much resistance in the torch, your wire speed is off, and that causes crackly short circuits that just won't penetrate the steel. But when you get it right, when you have a perfect, hot, deeply penetrating weld, well, it shouldn't sound buzzy. As the old-time welders say, it sounds exactly like you're frying bacon. Adapting on the fly is crucial here. Ian was using 0.030 wire, which is honestly a bit thin for heavy oil drill pipe. To compensate for that, he pushed his welder's heat to its absolute maximum limit for the thick base sections to ensure it really penetrated. But actually, scratch that. When he moved up to weld the top brackets, which were thinner 1-inch square tubing, he was welding overhead, so he wisely lowered both the heat and the wire speed to prevent blasting a molten hole right through the thinner metal and dropping it into Nowheresville. So, after cutting, notching, and frying up some heavy-duty welds, the 52 3/4-inch stand was finally complete. Then came the final hurdle, a sweaty, slightly chaotic wrestling match with the giant 10-foot, 80-pound disc. But with some serious effort and balance, Ian hoisted the UFO securely onto the stand. Stepping back, he completely proved that persistence, flexibility, and a healthy dose of trial and error pay off beautifully. It went from a crushed satellite dish to a majestic, fabric-covered, display-ready flying saucer. Seeing that dark, stretchy fabric pulled taut over the custom frame, resting high on its heavy-duty welded base, it's just visual proof the failure is really just a stepping stone to a better idea. The crushed frame led to a way stronger base. The wrinkled aluminum led to an elegant, lightweight fabric skin that can literally glow in the dark. So it leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to consider for our own lives. When has a massive failure or a disastrous mistake on a project forced you to pivot your approach and actually led to a much, much better result? Think about that next time you're stuck out in the garage. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.